Hi and welcome. I am Tita, and you are watching Yarn Talk, which is my weekly knitting podcast. Today is episode 6, and the topic for today is the color of the year 2024. Um, before I dive into the topic, I am also happy to say that I will also have sort of a second part to this knitting podcast. Today I will show you some of my swatches. These are swatches for sort of two tops that I am currently working on. I realized that this is kind of a knitting podcast, and so far I haven't really shown you much knits. Other than a couple of tops that I recently knitted. Among those are this one. This is my first design, the Veronica sweater, that if you have seen my previous episode, then you should know that this is at the Test Knitters and will be available on Ravelry and on Etsy, hopefully a little bit after Valentine's Day. But from today's episode on, I will always have sort of a topic of the week, and I will also try to show you not just the swatches, but I try to show you finished objects, as I realized that knitting podcasts should have whips and finished objects. Whips are a little bit more difficult because I design these sweaters and things sort of in stages. So whip 1 will not necessarily gonna look like then whip 2 in the next week. So as every sort of top and everything I knit goes through sort of phases and stages. So whips are a little bit more difficult, but I decided that once I sort of finished the design and I wrote up the pattern, I will show you the whip when I am making a sort of tutorial for my knitting pattern that is about to come out, because at that time the whip will be like a real whip. It will grow every week by every episode, so it's gonna be like the real thing. So soon we will have whips as well. Today we have at least swatches, and I will say a few words about what am I designing that uses those colors and materials. So as I said at the beginning, today's topic is the color of the year. And every year, the Pantone Color Institute and the WGSN, in collaboration with Coloro, announces a color of the year. And this is not just a color for clothing or fashion. This is basically the color of the year for basically everything. So for objects you buy, for, I don't know, digital backgrounds, paints for the house, small household items like decorations like pillows. So every year there's a color of the year, and according to the Pantone Color Institute, when they announce a color of the year, that color becomes really more popular than in the year before, which is, I guess, what's expected. But they also say that that color of the year even becomes more popular the year after. So if that's true, then every of these colors of the years are definitely staying sort of popular for 2 years. Last year, the color of the year was, I think, Viva Magneta from Pantone, and Digital Lavender from WGSN and Coloro. And I have to say I have seen both colors a lot in terms of yarn and in terms of clothing, so definitely that has to be something about the color of the year. And by no means I am advocating for you to buy into trends and start buying all these colors. This is basically just information that I'm putting out there because this is a fact. These are the color of the year for 2024. And it is just something, I guess, interesting and something that you should know, or something that you can keep your eye out for. If you're shopping in your favorite department store or looking up your favorite designers, you might spot this color among many other colors, because there are specific colors for spring and summer and fall and winter seasons as well. And also there's an overarching color of the year as well. So you will see this color around you. And all I'm trying to say is, if you're interested in this sort of color itself, then what you will find is you will find a lot of yarns in these colors, because yarn companies obviously have a bunch of different qualities, and in each quality they have a certain amount of colors that they always have. And then there are always interesting colors that are there for a year or two or so, and after that they disappear and they are replaced by another interesting color. So I guess, as you can see here in front of me, the color of the year is sort of on the orange line. So if you're interested in or you like orange color, or this is something that you would like to try to incorporate in your knitting, then I will show you, I guess, 8 or so different type of yarns that fall under the color of the year. Or if you're knitting for someone who is more into trends, or who wants something that is in or modern, or who wants something orange because he or she just loves orange, then this might be a great opportunity for you to pick something, because there are a lot of these cool colors available right now, at least for a while. So the Pantone color of the year 2024 is Peach Fuzz. I am not so sure how well you can actually see Peach Fuzz, but this is a very, not very, it's a lighter orangish pink or pinkish orange color. According to the company, this kind of represents kindness and tenderness. It is definitely sort of a soft color if you look at it. And the Pantone Color Institute says that they put a lot of research into picking the color of the year. I think they announced Peach Fuzz to be the color of the year in December last year. So they supposedly have global experts around the world, and all these designers have different sort of expertise in different areas. And what they do is they basically take into account what goes on around them. They look at people's lifestyles, they look at movies, they look at other entertainment like music, they look at, I don't know, art, street art, even socioeconomic status, supposedly, or socioeconomic conditions, actually. And sort of they come together and establish a color of the year that sends a sort of a message. So this is sort of a message for kindness and tenderness. I don't know if that's really what it is, but one thing is for sure, that this is the color of the year. And if this year goes like last year, this color will be everywhere, and you will see a lot of sort of peachy color around you, and in the department stores, paint stores, a lot of magazines. So just look out for that. And if you're interested, you'll see the yarns very soon. And as I mentioned, there are actually 2 colors of the year. One is announced by the Pantone Color Institute, which is Peach Fuzz. And the other one I kind of look up always is the WGSN Coloro collaboration. And this is Coloro color 0246527, called Apricot Crush, which is again along the orange line, but this is supposedly an apricot orange, and most definitely a sort of darker, I don't know, sort of more vital version of orange than Peach Fuzz. Peach Fuzz is sort of the lighter version, and this one is the darker, sharper version. Supposedly, Apricot Crush kind of represents well-being and wellness. Also, last year they announced digital lavender to be the color of the year, and definitely there was a lot of lavender. As you can see, I am wearing a lavender color. Yeah, clearly I'm wearing a lavender color, so I did love this shade of lavender. So yeah, I guess next year I might be wearing a peach. Actually, I'm working on a peach, to be honest. I will show you the yarn that I'm working on right now. So these are the color of the year. And what I did was I literally just took these cards and went through all the yarns that I have at my Etsy shop, which is Yarn for All LLC at Etsy.com, where you can actually find all these yarns currently on stock. So I went and looked all my sort of orange shade yarns and tried to see which ones are the best match for Peach Fuzz and Apricot Crush. And I came up with a couple of yarns. I choose them carefully. I wanted to choose this time a couple of yarns that are a little bit more sort of mainstream. So you'll see this time cotton yarn. I also tried to choose something that are a little bit more fancy and a little bit more on the extreme side. I tried to choose a wide range of shades that sort of match with these color cards, but also a wide range of textures. because if you have seen my previous episodes, you know that I really like things modern. And one way to make your things is modern is not just color, but also you could choose really cool and fresh textures. So I do really love a play of texture. So if orange is already sort of out of your comfort zone, then any sort of more simple knitting pattern in these colors might be feeling for you as a little bit more modern. For me, I need a little bit more to it than just a color change, so I really like to use novel materials and interesting sort of different textures. So you will see a wide range here today, and I will try to best match them up against these color cards. So let's actually see these yarns, and let's start with the light color, the Peach Fuzz, which is, as I said, an orangish pinkish color. And that is why we have the Creme Castle Wool Baby Silk Lace Solid here, which may look like pink from further away or in comparison to this color card. So this is definitely on the pinkish orange side. This is color 21011, and I found this colorway very interesting, and as I see, it almost looks pink against it. But if you take the card away, it actually does look sort of a very light orange. I love this Baby Silk Lace Solid. You will actually see this yarn as one of my swatches because I'm currently working with the yarn itself. I haven't fully committed to the color, so my swatch is not made of the color that I'm using, but I actually love this yarn. I believe this is 70% alpaca and 30% silk, and this might be a great substitution for those of you who do not like mohair. I hear a lot of people say that they find mohair itchy or they can't really tolerate mohair, so I wouldn't say this is itchy. It has definitely less sort of feel than mohair, so this is somewhat better, but this is obviously not itch free. This is wool, so wool isn't really itch free, but it's definitely less of a sort of feeling, less feeling when it touches your skin than when a mohair does. So Baby Silk Lace Solid from Creme Castle Wool would be a great alternative to mohair, or it might be worth for you to try if you like the lace yarns. It's a very rich lace yarn, as you can see, has a very nice texture, and I really love this colorway. I will list all these colorways in the comment section, so you don't have to try to remember 21011. Yeah, so this is color number 1. Color number 2 is Creme Castle Wool Silky Kid. As you can see, this is definitely more on the orangish side of the orangish side of the scale. And if you want to see the previous one, so you can kind of see the difference. I don't know how well the camera will show right now. It's kind of dark outside and I don't have any natural light, but just to say, the solid is a little bit pinkish and the Silky Kid is more on the orange side of this. And this is actually a tiny bit lighter. I'm sure you can see that much. It's a tiny bit lighter than Peach Fuzz, but I say a fairly good match. And this is your traditional mohair, 72% mohair, 28% silk, with a suggested needle size of 3 to 5 millimeter. And I don't know, I would say this is around the softer mohairs. It's definitely a bit more harsh than the Baby Silk Lace Solid. That's part of the reason why I chose the Baby Silk Lace Solid to work with. I wanted to make sure that people who don't like mohair may try this yarn and see. So yes, this is a mohair, so it has that mohair feel to it. If you don't like mohair, don't try, but if you want a softer mohair than what you're using, this is actually worth trying for sure. And if you like this very beautiful light peach color, then this might be your time. Let's go again. The next one, I again picked a creme castor wool yarn, and I would say this might be the closest to my sample of Peach Fuzz that I have. Right now it's rolled up, so it is sort of the yarn over and over again, so it's a bit darker than what really is. When you have only like 2 or 3 strands of this. This is Creme Castor Wool's Merino Cobweb Super Fine Super Wash lace yarn. What I love about the yarn is the color is a great match. It's really nice. It's color 810. So I obviously don't know the color name, but it's clearly on the orange line. And I am thinking of a project using this yarn. It's gonna be a summer project. I'm still debating if I want to hold this double or triple. You can do either way. The great thing about this is that if I can remember, but I just want to confirm this is 50 grams of yarn. Oh, actually, sorry, 750 grams. No, sorry, 50 grams, 750 meters. So 750 grams would be a lot. This is 50 grams. And if you think of other cobweb merinos on the market, most of them are just like 20 gram. And this is better priced than some of them, and it's 50 grams and gives you 750 meters, which is really, really long, and comes in a variety of colors. So if you wanna mix this beautiful peachy color with another color, you can find a great variety of color choices. The company, I think, did a really good job choosing really interesting colors. So this is again a great substitute for those of you who do not like mohair, but you know, it's a merino yarn, so it is again not, I mean, this is really soft, I have to say, very, very soft. So I don't know about those of you who don't like mohair, this would be probably again a great alternative to try instead of the mohair. If you don't want to try the baby silk lace solid, which is the alpaca and silk blend, this is a great alternative again. And the next color and yarn was a bit tricky. I wasn't quite sure if it's Peach Fuzz or Apricot Crush. I kind of put it to the Peach Fuzz. This was hard. This was sort of in the middle. It wasn't this white all, but it wasn't this pale either. And this is Fielder's Fill Cotton, and I think this is the apricot colorway. And this is again just a simple cotton yarn, 100% cotton with aloe vera. This is for those of you who love to work with cotton yarns. This is a relatively soft cotton, and this is for those of you as well who do not like to go out of their way, don't like mohair or don't like synthetic yarns, which I will show you a few of. This might be your choice then if you really want to incorporate this peachy tone into your wardrobe. Then this might be your great alternative to some other yarns. Again, Fielder Cotton 3 comes in a great variety of colors, so you can match this up with something else, or you can just make something completely orange. So let's move on to WGSN's color, oh, I don't know what this is, WGSN's color of the Apricot Crush, which is the sort of darker orange of the two. Let me show you first the BC Garn Alba Organic Cotton Yarn, color 17. And as you can see, this is a close match. This one is a bit darker and a tiny bit shinier than the actual Apricot Crush. But for those of you who care for your yarn to be organic or sustainably made, then I can only highly recommend the BC Garn Alba yarn. It also comes in many colors, maybe not as many as the merino, but they also have a great variety of colors, so you can mix this up with something if orange is a bit too much, or you can just go full orange. It's really up to you. Next, let's do my favorite yarn. If you have seen my episodes, you know that Feel Passion is one of my current favorites among my yarns for multiple reasons. And this is their vitamin colorway. And as you can see, the orange is really a close orange to the Coloro Peach Fuzz. Coloro Apricot Crush. Peach Fuzz is Pantone, sorry. So it's really close to Apricot Crush. And why I love this yarn is this is I think an acrylic mohair blend, and also contains wool. So again, it's not for those of you who do not like mohair. You're not gonna like this either. It has the mohair feel, sort of. But why I love this yarn, and I showed this a couple times before, but I will show this again. I just love the way they made the yarn. So it has this main orange line, and then it has this white mohair fuzz, and it has this black thread running along the yarn. And here and there you will find these pop-up colors. This is, I think, brownish, and I think this has also some reddish pink. So as you knit this up, as you can see on mine, I have blue, pink, and like dark purple. So this is how it's gonna come out, just in the orange-ish colorway. Very, very interesting yarn, and I really like it. And I designed this Veronica sweater originally just for this yarn. Obviously, my test knitters are using a variety of yarn, but I think one of them actually has the passion yarn, so I can't wait to see this in a blue colorway. But here is the orange colorway. I don't have too many of this yarn available, but I have enough for a few sort of tops, so I just like it a lot. One of my most interesting yarns currently. And the next up is Feel Buoyancy. Feel Buoyancy. It's really on the vial end, as you can see. This is on the very, very shiny end. And this is, I guess, the carrot colorway. I'm sorry, I don't speak French, so as I always say, I will put up the colors and everything so you can figure this out. But here it is. And it's obviously darker than the color card, than Apricot Crush, but it's a pretty good match. And the reason it seems darker is the main, not the main, but the fuzzy shiny color. It has a matte base, and the matte base is very similar to Apricot Crush, but why it seems shiny is because it has this very shiny orange fuzzy yarn spun into this, or running along the main line, and that's why the yarn seems actually overall very shiny. But if you look closely, which is what happens when you knit it up, you can actually see the matte colors. So very interesting yarn, super soft. I am actually not sure. Yeah, 55% polyamide, 25% acrylic, and 20% wool. And although this one has 20% wool, I'm always surprised to read it, and I've read this a million times that it has wool. I'm always surprised because the yarn is extremely soft, and like really, really fuzzy. It looks amazing knitting up, and one of my projects uses this yarn in a different colorway. Super soft. Even for those of you who don't like wool, I would suggest maybe just try one ball and see, because you cannot tell. At least I cannot tell that this has wool. Amazing, and super warm. So I think because of the wool content, it stays warm. It has a cool warmness to it, so the yarn is cool to touch yet keeps you warm. Really interesting, amazing yarn. And the last one on the pile is Feel Chic in the Apricot colorway. Obviously, the Apricot Crush is a little bit lighter version, and this is a little bit more orangey version. This is mohair, wool, polyamide, and another material. So I'm again not recommending this for those of you who do not like mohair, because it does have the mohair feel. But the most amazing part of the yarn is the texture. It is so sticky and squishy and it has obviously the mohair outside. It's a lace yarn, but you can form this and it kind of stays the way you want it. So I am working on a piece using this yarn, actually my first color work, and I'm using actually orange with another color together, and I'm creating a very structural piece. I feel like this yarn keeps its structure really well, so I'm hoping to kind of bring that through using this yarn. So I'm hoping to create something very structural, and I'm hoping it can keep the shape because of the yarn. So this is an amazing yarn. Comes in 25-gram balls, and as I said, it's a lace yarn, and I can only highly recommend if you're interested in trying a new yarn. Comes in other colors, obviously, many sort of shiny colors, but they also have sort of off colors and also a lot of neutrals. So if you're interested and you are afraid to go full orange or full actually apricot, which is the colorway, then you can actually mix this up with other colors. Use the orange as a couple of stripes among the main color. But I can only highly recommend. I can actually highly recommend all these yarns. But if you're curious, what am I currently working with? I have two are almost completely done sweaters. I'm kind of perfecting the pattern, so I still have to frog them or part of them and go back again, but I'm close to be done. Then I have four swatches, two more to go. So I'm currently having a swatch with this, a colorway swatch. I clearly worked with Phil Passion very recently. Loving the Baby Silk Lace Solid. You will see my swatch in a minute. And I am planning working with the Merino. I'm still deciding whether or not I want to hold it double or triple. I feel it's really thin, so I might go triple. But I'm not a fan of holding three sort of balls of yarn at once, so I'm deciding. And as I said, I'm loving this. So one of my sort of almost completed pieces are using this yarn in a different colorway. So I'm working with the piece is almost ready with the Feel Buoyancy. I swatched a color work using Feel Chic. You're gonna see my Baby Silk Lace Solid swatch in a second, and a design is coming up for the Cobweb Merino, and I clearly already designed something for the Feel Passion. So that's what I'm doing right now, and basically this is it about color of the year. And so before I show you my swatches, as I said, for me it's difficult to show whips because again, whips are difficult. I normally don't knit other people's knitting patterns simply because I have so many of my own ideas, and I constantly work on at least like 5 or maybe 7 or 8 of them at the same time, and they are all in different stages. And as I said, if you see my whip from today and compare it with the same tops whip next week, it might not look like anything like it. I may even change the color already. Definitely changed a bunch of things on my shape depending on which stage am I. So usually the sweaters just don't come out perfect at once, although the Veronica did. The only thing I actually changed on the Veronica was something about the sleeve once I completely finished it. So this I did in one sort of whip, and it was nearly perfect. I only had to adjust a little bit at the sleeves. But my other designs taking a little bit longer. Some of them are making it to the stage of sewing them together, and then I'm discovering something that I don't like, and then I change it, and then that may result in the changing of another thing and another thing. So I can't really show whips until the pattern is ready, and then I know that this is the final version, and then I will show you a whip as I'm knitting up for my knitting tutorial, as I'm making sort of a second piece of the pattern. Finished object, that's a little bit harder because as I said, I normally work on 5, 7, 8, 9 things at the same time. So sometimes I don't have finished objects for a long time, and then I have like 5 finished objects all at once. So that will come also sporadically, but I will try to incorporate a little bit more whips, or like part of it at least, that I know I'm keeping. So you get to be updated about my knitting projects. And with that, I would like to say that I decided that I will announce on my YouTube channel always first about my test knitting that comes up. So if that's something that interests you, then please consider subscribing, because this is where you will hear first about my upcoming test knits. And I can tell you that 2 of them are really close to be done. I'll say hopefully 2 or so weeks, and they are ready to go if all goes well. And why this could be important is because I am actually trying to get sponsors to give the yarn for my test knitters for free. I have to say that I feel that my test knitters who are working on the Veronica right now doing a great job, and I have to say I think it's a lot of work to test knit for someone. And I think it would be a great appreciation if once in a while I can actually offer free yarn in exchange for a lot of help I'm actually getting. So I am really working hard on convincing companies to actually, currently I'm working with one company or two, to provide free yarn for my test knitters. So as soon as it's settled, and as soon as we decide for the yarn exactly, I will let you know that this is going to be the yarn, so you can look out for it, and I will kind of update you always when I know that the pattern is about to come, or perhaps it's supposed to be coming next week or next week, so you can really look out for it. But you will not know about this in any other place but first on my YouTube channel. And what I do, I actually, whoever applies first for the selected size, actually I will say yes, as long as they can commit to the time. So whoever will apply first for the certain size will get actually the test knit and hopefully the free yarn with it. So I'm really working super hard for my next test knit to have a yarn with it. I can't say that all my test knits will have yarns, but I'm really working hard for the next ones to do so. So if you want to subscribe and know about this, this might be a good moment. And here are my swatches. So this is a swatch actually. I wanted to originally show this yarn because it's a perfect match for the Peach Fuzz on a lighter colorway. This is a little bit wet because I'm wet blocking, and this is the dry version. The only reason I didn't show this vegan cashmere yarn by Creme Castle Wool is because this colorway is out of my stock, and not just my stock, but the company's stock, which may tell you that this is a popular color and really close to the color of the year, and it will be out of stock for about, like, I don't know, 15 more weeks. So they are really backlogged, and I didn't want to show something that you can't buy. However, you might be able to buy it from other distributors who are smart enough to stock up on this, unlike me, or unlike, I guess, the company didn't think of it either, because this color is sort of out of stock for a while. So in any ways, this is the colorway I chose to make my swatch. And when I design something, I usually create 2 identical swatches, and I wet block the first one or one of them and leave the other one. And I don't do this when I do someone else's design or when I knit someone else's design. I do this just because I kind of like to see the visual change. I don't just like to know that, yeah, my swatch grew like 1 inch, well, I mean 1 centimeter here and a half centimeter there. I kind of like to see how it visually changes my stitches. That will help me decide whether or not I wanna go up or down with my needles, because I kind of like the smaller stitch size better, but I still want to have whatever, you know, I kind of like to see it. So I always do too when I'm designing for myself. So this is Creme Castle Wool Vegan Cashmere, And I didn't bring the ball up, but it's an amazing yarn. It is my favorite cotton yarn from the cotton yarns I have. It is simply because it's almost like a t-shirt yarn. It doesn't feel like any of the cotton yarns I have, and you actually have to touch vegan cashmere to understand. And it is called vegan because it is actually a vegan yarn. And it's also called cashmere because it's soft, not because it has cashmere in it. So it's 100% cotton yarn. I think one of the most novel cotton yarns available at the market right now. The downside kind of is that it doesn't come with a great array of color. It's a lot of colors. I think it's above 20 or 25. So it's a decent amount of color, but they don't have all the colors that you can think about. So that might just be the downside, the only downside it has. So I created this swatch gauge for my next project. This is gonna be a spring-summer piece, and I'm hoping to create sort of a romper. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but it is like the one-piece outfit where your top and your shorts are connected in the middle. I am designing it in a grayish colorway right now. That's what I'm going to use. But I made my swatch gauge with this beautiful peachy color. I love the color, and I would have designed it probably with this if I had enough yarn, but I obviously don't. I am actually sold out of this colorway. And I hope to make this piece available in 8 different sizes. And the plan is to have the top created from bottom up using obviously stockinette stitch. So it's gonna be a simple stockinette stitch, which is fairly easy. And it will have a short attached to it. Shorts are really difficult to do. I think so. If I completely basically fail with it, then it might just be a skirt, but the original plan, you can all hear, it actually is a short. And the way the design will work is that the top is worked from bottom up, and the short, I'm hoping I can make it work bottom up. I'm hoping I can do it bottom up, and we will connect it once the 2 pieces are done. But I will have 8 to 10 sizes for the top part and 8 to 10 sizes for the bottom, so you can kind of mix up your size for the top and your size for the bottom, the best that fits your body measurements, which is sort of a challenge, but I'm trying to work out the way this can actually work perfectly for all sizes and most of the combinations. So that is my first swatch, and as you can see, the material kind of grew a tiny bit, but I cannot be sure yet because it's not completely dry, but it does look like it got a tiny bit bigger. And my second one, and the second and last for today, is this one. This is the Creme Care Baby Silk Lace Solid. And I think this is the charcoal colorway, and I don't know what happened. I wanted to make a 4x4 inch or 10 by 10 centimeter, and I completely, I don't know, blanked out, and it's got a lot bigger than 10 centimeters, but it will do the job. This is super soft, and if I may say so, after washing it became even softer, but I'm waiting until it's fully dry. I blocked this yesterday, so obviously it's still wet. I don't see much growth actually, which is a good news. This is a very light yarn, so even if the weight brings it down, won't grow that much, at least apparently. Not using this colorway either. This is going to be a hoodie that is close to be finished in terms of sort of finalized idea in my head. So I'm slowly ready to knit it up as soon as I actually have a better idea about how my gauge changes after wet blocking. And this might be one of the designs that will get yarn. So if you love this alpaca silk combination and you're interested to see a really cool hoodie coming out in this, then you may want to subscribe and look out for my next announcements. And I guess this will be slowly it for today. Thank you for listening. And as I said, next week I'm not promising whips, but I might be able to show you a few more of my swatches, talk a little bit about the project, and give you an update on test knits and available yarns. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next Tuesday.